Okay, let's start right away. Let's not wait for a longer time here. I think it would be unfair for the other people who have been on time here in this webinar. And let me share the presentation straight away. And I hope you can see the screen now. The whole idea here is today in our webinar about artificial intelligence to explain artificial intelligence in an easy way, in an easy manner. Based on my studies in computer science and in business, and based on all the courses I attended, my mission is it to explain artificial intelligence as easy and as simple as possible, to make it easier for other people to apply artificial intelligence in their lives, in their private life, in their business, and to answer some general questions people have in their mind from day to day, and to debunk the myth that artificial intelligence is only about ChatGPT and other fancy things that we are seeing on social media. So to start right away, this presentation or this webinar is split into two sections: 45 minutes of presentation and 15 minutes at the end of the webinar of a question and answer session, where you can where you get all the answers on your questions, hopefully. If you can't wait, you can also post them in the chat, but me and my colleague will answer them at the end of this webinar. This webinar will be recorded, so if you don't want to see yourself on YouTube in this video, then just let your camera turned off. The list of participants is also not shown in this video, so yeah, we are making sure that you are not visible. So let's talk about me for a second, so you know who is talking to you throughout the next 60 minutes. My name is Alexander Stahl. I'm 29 years old. I was born in Germany, Hamburg. It's a very nice city in the north of Germany. Then I was living for some time in Prague. Then 15 years ago, I moved to Vienna, Austria. One of the most beautiful places I've ever been to. Great culture, great people, great nature. Then last year, I've moved to Dubai, working there as a senior software sales consultant for PlanRadar, which is basically an Austrian scale-up. And I'm also studying computer science and business in Germany at the Fern University Hagen. And besides that, I just love reading a lot, working out, going into the nature, and of course, learning more about artificial intelligence and its subfields every single day. That's about me. You can ask more questions at the end about me if that's relevant for you. And now I give the mic to my colleague, David. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm David Sanitra. I'm 29 years old. I was born in Vienna, but I got Polish roots. The only time I lived in Poland was my childhood. Then I moved back to Vienna again. I went to school there. I lived nearly my whole life there. For some months, I changed to Berlin because I had a job opportunity there. So it was basically for a half year. So after that, I came back to Vienna, and yeah, since around almost a year, I'm in Dallas now. I got a job opportunity too there, and yeah, we're building up some businesses actually. And I'm also in the blockchain industry since 3 years already. And yeah, some months ago, I discovered AI for myself as a very interesting and growing field. So yeah, I decided to dive deeper and move ahead with that too. So yeah, thank you, Alex.
Thank you for introducing yourself, David. So let's dive directly into the agenda and have a look at what we're talking about today. It's basically about 4 sections. What is AI? How does AI work? What are the applications? And what are the benefits and challenges Then we will sum it up. We come to a conclusion, and we provide some further resources for learning, or if you want to stay ahead when it comes to the general information of on the general progress of AI in several industries. So when we're talking about the first section, it's all about the definition, the history, and what you should know about AI as a beginner. If you've never talked about AI or read an article about AI. In the second section, it's all about how does it work, okay? The basic components, the different types based on capability and functionality. And then in the third section, it's all about the applications of AI, which will be covered by my dear friend and colleague, David. And in the fourth section, it's all about the benefits and challenges of artificial intelligence. What's really important to say here at the very beginning, this is a non-technical introduction. Okay, so no mathematical knowledge or no programming knowledge is required. And we did this on purpose. We will have another webinar, which is more technical, but this is really a presentation, a webinar for anyone who's never been in contact with this topic and just wants to get a clear understanding what people are talking about when they're throwing around this very famous and popular buzzword AI at the moment. So let's come to the definition. When you type in artificial intelligence or the abbreviation AI in Google, you find a lot of descriptions. But I think the people who coined this terminology, or who started inventing this whole field of research, can describe it the best. That's why we start with John McAfee, who said the objective of artificial intelligence is to develop machines that behave as if they are intelligent. And John McAfee was basically the one who kicked off this whole era, this whole field of technology in 1956, basically, to be very precise, not 55. The other person, Mrs. Elaine Rich, a very, very intelligent woman, said that artificial intelligence is the study of how to make computers do things at which, at the moment, people are better. And this basically also changes from year to year. But when you want to find out about the people who are standing behind AI, John McAfee and Elaine Rich are really the people you should look for in the World Wide Web. And the last one is the famous encyclopedia. And this one basically says that AI is the ability of a digital computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. And now we have our first pattern here, okay? And in AI, in models, it's all about discovering patterns. And our pattern here is the word intelligence, okay? Intelligence, intelligent, and that's the main keyword when we're talking about this technology. So let's define it in one of the next slides. But before, I also need to say that AI is not just one technology, it's the fusion of many fields of study. And I found this out in my study at the Fern University Hagen in Germany. And I found it out in a lot of courses when I started learning artificial intelligence. It's not only AI, it's computer science and also engineering, to define how to implement this technology and how to utilize it for your personal benefit. It's also mathematics and statistics to determine if these models are actually viable, if you can actually use it, and to measure performance and see if they can be applied in other fields and if it really pays off to use them. It's also psychology and linguistics to understand how you should communicate with a computer and how to build the best user experience for a machine and a human context. And it's of course philosophy, because it's all about talking about ethical considerations, you've seen the examples of the Google presentation where it was like a big scandal because it had like a racist bias. Yeah, asked them basically, okay, what is the most what is like the most common race profile of criminals in a specific state in the United States? And the model, or the large language model, replied, black people, okay, Afro-American people. And then the question was, okay, and how can we fix this? And the model just replied, okay, just remove them. Okay, so that's the point where we're talking about ethical consideration, bias training, and so on. But we will go into more detail about this in a later stage. So we talked about the buzzword intelligence. What kind of intelligence are involved here in when we're talking about this topic? Let's just imagine I'm on my way to work, and out of some reason I decided to buy a Tesla now. So I'm on my way to work with a Tesla. Okay, and in the first step, I'm opening the door, I'm checking the mirror, I brace myself basically, and I see if everything is all right in my car, if I have my bag with me, and if that's fine, I start the motor and I start driving. That's human intelligence. Okay, the actions are fully managed by me. There's no robot involved in this. I do everything myself. The next step, and here starts the collaboration, is augmented intelligence. Okay, so when I'm driving and the motor rider drives very next to me, and then I have collision detection, or then I have the collision detection, and the car gives me some sounds and tells me, okay, someone is really near to your car. Okay, or I'm navigating through the city, and Google Maps or the navigation system tells me, okay, after 200 meters, turn right. This is augmented intelligence, and it's a collaboration between the computer and me and the human being. Okay, so this is where we start to mix up. And the last thing is artificial intelligence. And now I'm going into the mode of the self-driving car. Okay, that means I do nothing and the car drives for me. Okay, I can take out the book and start reading, yeah, or I can just have a small snack, and my Tesla car or any other electronic vehicle like Polestar, for instance, is doing everything for me. So these are the three types of intelligence, and today we are concentrating on artificial intelligence. So now we should really talk about the history of AI, because I often in my conversations in day-to-day life find out that people think that AI is something new. Okay, that AI is ChatGPT. Okay, that AI is OpenAI. That AI is something that was just invented a year ago, or that AI is the VR glasses from Facebook, from Meta. Okay, but actually, as I mentioned it before, Mr. John McCarthy has coined the term artificial intelligence already in 1956. Okay, so in the 1950s, the whole journey started, and now everyone talks about it. Okay, and then we had a lot of progress, of course, and I'm visualizing it in the next slide. Then it slowed because we had a lot of technical complications, and there was also not a lot of funding at this place. It was like a future subject. Then in the 1990s and in the beginning of the 21st century, there was a lot of breakthrough, mainly thanks to the companies in Silicon Valley, to the companies in the United States. And today, and in the future, and today is the future. Every day we have a new advancements advance, like a new development in AI, a new product, a new startup, a new company that is solving another problem. And now we are at the speed that Mr. Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, said, imagine the progress of or the development of the human race from 500 years being done in one single year. Okay, and this is where AI will take us. So in a very short time, we will, or in the short term, in the midterm, we will be at the stage that we will have a progress of 500 years done in 1 year, thanks to this technology. And that's why I decided last year to really go deep into this subject, because this will significantly change the way we are living. And this is not an iPhone moment. This is not an internet moment. As the Bank of America stated, this is like a combination of all of the great paradigm shifts that we have that we had in our history. Okay, so I think a good visualization of the current reality of AI is this chart here. This chart shows you that in 2013 we had an investment in the United States, for instance, of around 3 or 2 billion. This is not a figure in million, this is billions of dollars. $2 billion, okay, investment in AI, and now we are talking about almost $53 billion of investment. And if you want to know how the future will be shaped, you just need to see where the big players are putting in their money, and now it's definitely artificial intelligence. So let's have a look at the milestones, and let's have a look at another visualization so you understand how all of this evolved. So in the 1950s, we had the first Turing test and the first chess computer. And the Turing test was basically a test by this guy called Turing, who said, okay, I have a computer and I have a human being on the other side, and I have one human being on the other side. And I will pass them questions. And if they are almost equal, like 50-50 right, then the computer passes the test, okay? And if it's worse than that, then the computer doesn't pass the test. This was basically back then the method to identify if a system was worth it or not, okay? Then in 1956, you already know it, Mr. John McAfee coined the term artificial intelligence. This is basically the official start of the whole field of study. In 1957, Mr. Rosenblatt developed the fundamentals for neural networks, and neural networks is a subfield of artificial intelligence. We'll go into that later on. You will see what I mean. And in 1961, General Motors started using the first industry robot to ease repetitive tasks in production. Then in the 70s and 80s, we had our first AI winter. And AI winter is a period that is called, so we call it AI winter because there were some things at this particular time frame that were really stopping the development of the field of artificial intelligence. And back then it was, in the first winter, it was technology limitations. Then in the 80s, we had the first expert systems, the first breakthroughs in artificial neural networks. Then in the 80s and 90s, the second AI winter, because everyone was disappointed. All the nice ideas about artificial intelligence couldn't be realized. So everyone was kind of thinking, okay, should we dump this whole topic or should we continue? Then in the 90s, finally, the data volumes and the computing power enabled the realizations of our visions. So we all had crazy dreams, or Mr. McAfee had crazy dreams in 1956, and in 1990, these dreams could be realized based on the technology advancement that we've made, okay? And since 2010, we are all talking about big data and deep learning. We are all talking about natural language processing, and we've made a lot of advancements, and that's why everyone is super happy with Google search and with shopping on Amazon. But I will dive into more details about that later. And what the future holds in store for us, we can make a guess, but at this point we will concentrate on understanding the basics. So at the end of this webinar, you will be really in a position where you say, yes, I know what AI is, I know what it's all about, I know the history, and I know kind of how it works and what it has in store for us in the future. So what should you know about AI? Okay, what you should know is that AI will create a value by around 13 trillion US dollars. These are like official numbers. I haven't come up with these numbers by myself. Okay, that means there's a lot of huge opportunity for you and for me. Okay, you should utilize AI either in your business if you're an entrepreneur, or for your personal things, or both. Okay, but you should take advantage of it. Okay, AI will not replace humans. AI will be our sparring partner in order to become better, to become more productive, and to become more intelligent. Okay, and we can go into some basic examples in the Q&A section or in the other slides. So, because what we are talking about now about AI in image recognition or ChatGPT or your spam filter is artificial narrow intelligence. Okay, and what the people have in mind, these robots who take over the world and just sit down next to them in the office and say goodbye, you're fired. These robots are AGI, okay, artificial general intelligence, and actually a very, very small percentage of the world of the work in AI is contributed to that. So we are talking most of the time, like 99% of the time, about ANI. Okay, so it's time for you to utilize AI and not to be scared of AGI. Okay, by 2025, which is basically in 1.5 years, almost 100 million people will work in the AI space, and we will have a huge amount of growth in this sector. And you already see later in these examples that a lot of companies are already utilizing AI. Netflix, Alexa, Siri, and other products, or Amazon, are all making sure that AI is incorporated in our daily life already since a few years, without anyone talking about it, because before it wasn't really a hype. Okay, but now AI has been made accessible to the vast majority of people, and that's why we had this shift in reporting about AI, and that's why you see this topic all over social media and all over the World Wide Web. So what are the basic components of AI? We have 8 basic components that are built with data, algorithms, models, features, and outputs. Okay, so I give you one example. We want to find out, okay, automatically if someone has passed the exams. Okay, and therefore we put in, and that's the first step, data. Okay, we put in data first to train the algorithm. So we put in any data that can help us identifying if someone will pass the exam in the future or not. The attendance of lectures, his previous exam scores, his daily habits, and so on. And the first bunch of data is training data. And this training data will train the algorithm. And in the next step, you fine-tune the model to see if it's really valuable. And in the last step, you basically evaluate the accuracy and see if you can really use this model on a wide scale, and see upfront if a student out of your 30 students, when you're a professor at the university, will pass the exam or not, which is pretty cool, because you can be a teacher in class, you can evaluate all You have a list of all your students, and you can already see, based on all these input data, if someone will pass an exam or not, which will help you prevent this by giving them instructions what they should do in order to pass the exam. Okay, so the second step is working with this input data, and the model itself, then it's a mathematical representation of the patterns and the relationship between the input on the left side and the output on the right side. Okay, the features, also one basic component of AI, are the characteristics or attributes. In this example, it's the attendance, the exam scores, and so on, and the outputs. The output then is basically the prediction. Okay, so I put all of this in, and then I ask, is David going to pass the exam on AI? Yes or no? Okay, based on his information, I know if he's going to pass the exam or not. So now we should look at the different types of AI. And we start in 1956 with John McCarthy again, who coined this terminology. Then we go to the 1980s, where we started with a subfield of AI, which is called machine learning. We will explain it a little bit in detail in the next slide. And then we started evolving and coming up with deep learning in 2010. And out of deep learning, or part of deep learning and machine learning, of course, are then these artificial neural networks, which are basically more sophisticated models. If something is unclear, if I'm not super simple and super practical at some point, please just note down your question and ask me at the very end, and I'm really happy to answer the question that you have in mind. So now we are talking about the different types of AI based on capability and based on functionality. When it comes to capability, we have narrow AI, general AI, and super AI. When it comes to functionality, you can basically read it from the screen. We have these reactive machines, the limited memory machines, theory of mind, and self-aware AI. Okay, looks good, sounds good, and looks pretty simple. But what do you mean with capabilities? What do you mean with functionalities? What is narrow AI? What is self-aware AI? Don't worry, of course, I will explain it to you in the next slide. So when it comes to capability, we just mentioned we have weak or narrow AI. And within this field, we have machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, computer vision. Then we have general AI and super AI. Okay, and weak and narrow AI is our current state. That's what we are talking about over 90% of all our conversations when we're talking about AI. And now I will show you some applications of weak or narrow AI, and it might ring a bell at your side, and you might be familiar with these type of applications. So one of the application is facial recognition. This was widely used or is widely used in China all the time. It's also used by Interpol or by the police just to find out if a criminal is in a certain place. Okay, or it's also used on your iPhone to unlock your phone. Okay, so basically everyone who's using Face ID on an iPhone is using weak or narrow AI. Then you see this one. I don't know if this is Alexa or Siri. I don't have this type of thing at home, but this is basically this speech, this natural language processing thing that does everything for you that you're commanding it. For instance, Alexa, play me some music, or Alexa, tell me how long this supermarket XY is opened today. Yeah. Then you have email. Yes, email is also weak or narrow AI, and I will explain you in which way it's weak or narrow AI later on. Then we have Google Search, which is basically giving you the best output, the best result for your search for your thing that you're looking for on Google. Then we have Tesla with autonomous driving. We mentioned it before that this is artificial intelligence, and we have Amazon. Okay. And I always like to give this very easy example when we are talking about Amazon to explain people what AI is. Okay. So just imagine you have 100 people shopping at Amazon. Okay. And you want to get a higher conversion rate. That means you want to sell more at the end of the day. Okay. You want to make sure that people put more products into their cart. So based on the products of these 100 people, based on the product or on the products which have been bought by these 100 people, you identify clusters. Okay, for instance, at the end you have 3 clusters, and in these 3 clusters are or like let's say 4 clusters, and in these 4 clusters are each 25 people who are basically buying similar stuff. Okay, one cluster buys protein and Gymshark gear, one cluster buys headphones and other technical stuff, one cluster buys books, and so on. And how does Amazon work here? Amazon says, okay, you're in the cluster of gym products. You are buying protein. This other guy called David, Peter, whatever, is not only buying this protein as you do, but he's also buying this magnesium capsules, okay, or these zinc capsules, okay. So you should buy them too. Other people who bought this product also bought this, and that's like one of the AI functionalities that you've exposed to since years without you knowing that this is actually an application of artificial intelligence. So at this point, we've understood that artificial intelligence is already part of our life since over a decade, but we've never talked about it because it hasn't been really fancy as generative AI tools like ChatGPT. So in general AI, these are human robots. Yeah. So all these movies like how is it called? There's some movies where you have like robots that are acting like humans. This is something for the very far future. We think so. So that's not the state of AI based on capability we're talking about nowadays. And then we have super AI. It's basically hypothetical AI. This is AI that solves all our problems and basically serves humanity. Okay. And we send super AI into space in order to explore other planets and in order to make sure that we can get resources from these planets and find out how we can utilize these research outcome for our human race. Okay, so general AI, super AI, you really don't need to occupy yourself with this. All you need to know about is right now weak or narrow AI. So based on the functionality, we have reactive machines, we have limited memory machines, we have the theory of mind, and we have the self-aware AI. And you see that you have a lot of connections between the things I'm talking about. Here in these 4 things, we have machine learning, we have deep learning, we have artificial neural networks. Okay, so everything that we're talking about in AI is somehow connected. When we are talking about reactive machines, we are talking about machine learning. Okay, they learn from a current situation. This is a transaction on Stripe. Is it fraud? Yes or no? This is an email. Is it spam? Yes or no? This is an object. Is this a car or is it a bike? Okay, these are reactive machines. So this is AI based on functionality. Then we have limited memory machines, which learn from past experience and predict the future, basically, or predict an outcome. This is heavily used from Uber or Careem or other ride-hailing apps that you're using in your country, or Bolt. They basically see when a specific demand will take place in the city, so the drivers will get notified, and they know, okay, I have to be in like at 6 p.m. I have to be in the inner city, because then I will get most of my business done by today. Or it's used for medical diagnosis. I fed the system with 10,000 pictures, 10,000 X-rays from breast cancer patients, and the next time I just scan an X-ray with my system, I know if this person has breast cancer or not. Okay, this is a limit memory machine. It learns from past experience until a certain extent. Then we have the theory of mind, and these are basically this is basically a social side of artificial intelligence. It can identify behavior and expressions. Okay, it can see, is David angry now? Is he scared? Or is he happy? Okay, this hand sign he gave me, does he want me to cook for him? And so on. Okay, and this is partially used in autonomous vehicles at Tesla or Polestar or all these other companies who are offering autonomous vehicles. And self-aware AI, again, here we are on the level at super AI or general AI, more general AI. This is AI which has its own consciousness, like from the movies. Okay, so next time you see a robot in the movie speaking to you, talking about expressing themselves and all the other things, okay, then you know, okay, this is general AI, and when it comes to the functionality, this is self-aware AI. Okay, so what are the most popular techniques? And I mentioned it before, the most popular techniques, and you will stumble upon this all over the internet, are machine learning and deep learning. Okay, so now the question is, what is machine learning? Yeah, in machine learning, and I gave you a very nice visualization before, the machine learns from data, and they will improve from time to time. They develop an algorithm in order to identify a pattern and make a prediction based on this. They require a human, okay, in order to manage the data, and they are widely used for image, speech recognition, and recommendation systems. And now it might ring a bell. Speech recognition, Alexa Siri, fraud detection, JP Morgan, all the banks are using it, recommendation systems. Here we're talking about Netflix and Amazon, okay? The good thing is machine learning system can be trained on very small data sets, okay? You can basically upload 100 pictures of a cat, and then it will be able to identify if this object on the screen, this next object on the screen, is a cat or not, okay? So this is used for very simple stuff. And I want to give you a practical and funny example, okay? Let's say we want to order pizza, okay? And we don't want to make a very easy decision, okay? We don't, we want to make it a bit more technical, okay? So we have the decision, yes or no. We give the value yes, the number 1, and the value no, the number 0. So we have 3 questions here. Will it save time to order pizza? Will I lose weight by ordering pizza? And will it save me money? And we answer these questions by yes or no, means 1 or 0. So we have the value 1, 0, and 1. The second step is that we will assign a weight to this measure. Okay, so we will say, this is our threshold, 0 to 5. 5 is very important, and 0 is not important at all. Okay. Will it save time to order pizza? Is it important? Very important. Will I lose weight? It's not so important for me. Will it save me money? Doesn't matter. I just want to enjoy pizza today. It's not about the money. And then in the calculation, we basically calculate the y hat, which is the outcome, okay, the predicted value. We calculate all these values, so x1 times w1, x2 times w2, and then we add it together, and then we subtract the threshold of 5. And if we have a positive number, like here, +2, the answer is yes, we should order pizza. Okay. So next time if you want to make it a little bit funny, you can use this very, very, very simple, practical machine learning model with pen and paper with your friends. If you want to order food, Chinese food, or if you want to get some Lebanese food, then you can write them some questions, add a threshold for the importance, and then you can calculate if you should order this food or not. Some other application examples in machine learning, I just mentioned it: audio, email. Email, is it spam? Yes or no? This is spam filtering. Audio to text, this is speech recognition. English to German, this is machine translation. You all know it. Ad, did someone click on the ad? Yes or no? This is online advertising. Image, or a radar, the position of other cars. This is a self-driving car. An image of a wall, is there a defect on the wall or not? This is visual inspection. Very, very interesting for people from the construction industry. So what can machine learning do? What can't machine learning do? Machine learning can tell you if this in front of your car is another car or not. Is it a car, or is it an elephant, or is it just a regular pedestrian? And it can tell you where the other cars are. Okay, so is it like 200 meters away or 500 or 5 meters away? What it cannot do, and here we're talking about theory of mind again, is identifying intentions. Okay, is this person angry? Okay, this person just waved. What is meant by this waving? Okay, the biker on the bike just made a hand sign to turn left. Okay, what was the meaning of this hand sign? We know it because we grew up in this context, but the machine can't understand this. Okay, let's come to deep learning, and this is basically machine learning on an upgraded level. Okay, deep learning doesn't need a person, like you can see it on machine learning, to involve and to get involved in this process. Okay, it can automatically learn and identify relevant features, and you can just feed this model with data, but it requires large amount of data because it works on its own, and it will achieve the desired output by itself. Okay, and of course you're using here a lot of data. That means you also require a lot of computational resources, but this is maybe a bit technical. If you are not working in this field, you won't be exposed to this process, I guess. Deep learning examples, we mentioned it before. Okay, image recognition, is this a car, is it a bike, is it a traffic light? You also know it from Grammarly. I don't know how it's about you, but I often get this ad about Grammarly that corrects your text. This is basically natural language processing, which helps you write better emails. We also have it in Tesla, again, with autonomous driving. We have it with Siri, okay, speech recognition, and we have it with Google Translate. All of these things are related to artificial intelligence, or now to the subset of artificial intelligence, which is deep learning. So now it's the time for my colleague, David, to talk about the applications of AI in business. David, can you take over?
Of course. Thank you, Alex. Let's go ahead. I tell you something about the applications of AI in business. The reason why we choose the financial services sector and the transportation is because these are both very emerging fields which are adopting AI in recent years, and they will improve even more in the next future. So it's pretty it's getting bigger and bigger in both sectors. So let's go to the financial services. What it offers, it enhances customer services. It makes better investment decisions. It helps with detecting fraud, and it also helps with personalizing services. So we got it's everything works through AI algorithms, and yeah, it's in first case it quickly analyzes a vast amount of data. It's working through identifying patterns. It makes predictions, making prediction that happens also with the machine learning, and which is predicting future events, let's say the future stock price, or forecasting the loan default rate. What we also got is the detecting fraud, which is working through two different kinds of AI. At the first point, the machine learning and the rule-based systems. For machine learning, it shows us how frauds are looking like. So basically, they are detecting also new instances of fraud. On the other hand, the rule-based system is a system which analyzes a large amount of data. And in the next step, it takes decisions after predefined rules. So let's say the example is over a credit card. When you are in a foreign country and you spend too much money, the amount is unusual too large. So you get a detected fraud maybe on your card because it was unusual, it was too large, and it was a foreign country. So the next point I want to talk is personal services. It's working through a natural language processing and also machine learning. This both together are taking customer data and personal preferences, and they are providing the output with recommendations or also responses. That happens mostly through a chatbot. Yeah, then when it comes to transportation, it helps a lot in the transportation industry. It improves traffic management, also transport logistics, and it helps also to make better decisions in real time. So a machine, when it learns to drive by itself, it can probably drive better than man, and it can take more rational decisions also, and more accurate decisions. So I got a workflow there for you, how like a self-driving car is working. At the first point, there is a perception of its surroundings. So the thing is, it takes the input there is are the pedestrians and other cars, and also the traffic lights. So that's the first point. And after that, there is a localization. It's determining its precise location, where it is exactly. That happens through mapping technologies. Then it's planning its next move, when to go faster, when to slow down, or when to change the lane. Then it has executing of its planned maneuvers. So like if it has to accelerate or to brake, that happens through actuators or other hardwares. And at the end, it evaluates its performance. So it's adjusting its actions and giving feedback to itself. If it's a safe drive and an efficient one. So yeah, moving on. So, all right, thank you, Alex. We got the applications of AI in daily life. So virtual assistants, I think everyone knows virtual assistants like Alexa and Siri. It's basically a tool that is working with NLP, natural language processing. It helps to understand and respond to our voice commands. Let's say, first of all, you give the voice command, and then it goes through the speech recognition, where the context is put from voice to text. And in the next step, the relevant informations are taken and are sent to the how do I call it? They are back sent through the AI algorithm, and through the AI algorithm, it goes through the process, through all patterns, through interest, and it's sending the command back to the device. So yeah, I think it was a little complicated to explain, but yeah. The next step is recommendation systems. Recommendation system, everybody knows that too. It's mostly on Netflix, Amazon, or Spotify, where it's suggesting movies, products, or songs based on our interests, or our ratings, or our playlists, or yeah, that's working like this. Then we got image recognition. It helps recognizing objects and peoples in photos. And let's say it goes through a one moment. So the kind of this image recognition is computer vision. That means you give the data set of a lot of pictures, like it's of dogs, of different dogs, or there are also no dogs in the pictures. But the algorithm recognizes and learns through this process what are dogs and what are no dogs, like through patterns like nose, ears, or other stuff. And then it takes all the information together and it learns through machine learning. And after the training, it can tell you for the next picture we want to put in, if it's a dog or not. So this is how image recognition works. All right, let's go ahead to the next one. Here we got some other applications. It's predictive maintenance. It's always used in manufacturing and facility management, also to prevent equipment failures. It's collating data from sensors or other sources, like temperature, vibration, or the last time it was maintenance. Then it's the data will be pre-processed, and it will be normalized, the data, or also missed data will be filled in. Then we got the training. In the training, we got the I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, let's then it goes through the training, and it learns how to make the best maintenance and the best possible time. So it learned about the temperature, about the maintenance last time, and it was like it's showing the.
Matthias, do you have the notes with you?
No,
No problem. No. So basically, can I add something to this? Is it okay for you?
Yes, of course, please.
Yeah. So in my experience here in the GCC region, especially with Planradar, we talked a lot about predictive maintenance, especially in facility management with companies like Alda or Siemens. And when they have AI applications in place, they basically get automatically notified when when a specific maintenance for a machine or a plant has to be conducted by the team. And this notification is connected to a specific workflow. So at first the engineer gets notified, then his team, and so on. It's predefined by the company in cooperation with the provider, like IBM, IBM Watson, for instance. And for instance, ADNOC is also using it for pipeline maintenance, right? And they are just feeding the system with the data, and it's not that you're saying, okay, I need to go to this specific object on the 5th of April and then on the 6th of June. That's regular scheduling. Okay, you can do this with any tool, but it identifies based on the behavior in this plant, based on the resources, based on the material, based on the amount of movement in this plant or in the pipeline, if it should be checked again or not. So it's a reactive maintenance, not reactive. It's a maintenance that is predictive based on the data that flows on this particular set of object for a plant, for a pipeline, and so on. That was my practical experience when I was dealing with ADNOC or with Arada or with Siemens or other companies in the GCC region, especially in the UAE. Do you want to take over for precision agriculture again?
Oh yeah, I take over. Thank you for that, for helping me out. Let's go ahead to precision agriculture. It's basically used in, like the name already say, agriculture. It's like, you can imagine, it's like a little helpers that are helping to get the plants fit as good as possible in the best time as possible. So it's taking care of our garden. Each plant gets the right amount of water, sun, and also fertilizer. It helps to analyze and recommend the best time to plant, water, and harvest the crops. And it's also reducing harmful chemicals or helping with water waste, so that we don't waste too much of it. And we use it rather efficient than wasteful. So identifying the role and nutrient deficiencies. That happens everything through machine learning and computer vision, and also robotics. So machine learning is basically there to connect the data and to process the data. Computer vision takes information from the cams and other sensors. If the plant is healthy, if it has any diseases or other stuff too. So and the robotics are doing the work. So machine learning, the algorithm is giving the information through the computer through the information in combination with computer vision, and the robotics are doing the work, like planting, like watering, and yeah, that's it. And let's go ahead to the next one. So we got other AI applications in construction industry. We got their smart inspection and smart waste management. On the first side is smart inspection. They are pretty new, what I researched, and they're automating the process of building inspections. So they are making pretty much sure that everything on the construction field is safe and secure. They are making like there would be a inspection company but without an external company to come to you to make the inspection. So they are making it faster, more accurate, and more efficient also. When it comes to smart waste management, it's like little helpers that are taking care that the trash is separated properly, and they are also tracking waste generation and disposal in real time, and they are identifying opportunities for optimization. Let's say let's say a good example is when they are driving the trash out, and then the next truck is already coming in, so that the truck has not to wait to be filled again with the trash to go out of the area. So everything stays in a flow and goes as fast as possible, as efficient as possible. Yeah, that's about that. All right. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, thank you, Matthias. Thank you, David, for your explanation regarding the slides. Was very interesting. Now I will talk about the benefits of AI, and I will mention mainly the benefits of AI in business, because like the majority of the people today, of the attendees today, are related to business activities and are not joining this meeting because of private considerations. So the general benefits of AI, to sum it up in 3 points, are consistent and accurate decision making, okay, cost savings, of course, and enhanced data analytics and prediction capabilities. And to make this really clear what we are talking about, I again prepared, of course, one example. When we're talking about consistent and accurate decision making, this is very, very important for the healthcare sector, okay? You've seen that since the beginning of this technology, artificial intelligence, AI has mainly been applied in 3 fields, okay? In the healthcare field, okay, in the financial field, and in the field of general communication, okay? And the healthcare field is the most important field, because with AI, we will be able to make medical decisions much faster, and we will be able to identify diseases pretty fast, okay, without or with very, very low error, and with eliminating a lot of human error at this point. Cost saving, I just took one example, and this example is Intercom. It's a company that is offering chatbots, that is offering chatbots that are answering repetitive questions from customers, that are making sure that customers who are filing a cancellation or who want to extend their contract can be talking to this chatbot, and this chatbot will take over the whole operation behind it. So instead of having 10 employees, you have just one application that takes care of this, okay? And enhanced data analysis. Now we have the 3 sections here: healthcare, communication, and the last one is finance. We have products or companies like Numerai, who really make very good and precise predictions when it comes to stock courses, to stocks in general. And if you're into this in general in the finance sector, I would really encourage you to look at Numerai and the applications. I will go through the slides a little bit faster because we are already over the time, and that's why I already move now to challenges and risk of AI and how they can be addressed. So the 3 key challenges and risks are, from my side, what I figured out over the last months and the material I consumed, are dependence, security, and ethical concerns. So dependent means it will reduce our ability to perform without artificial intelligence at one point. And how can we avoid this? We can avoid this through transparency, through explainable AI. That means we explainable and interpretable AI. We build systems that we can always understand and that we can always walk through and know what they're actually doing for us. Because if we lose track and if we lose the connection in order to understand what they're actually doing for us, this will be the moment where everything will go out of our control. In order to avoid this, we should build a proper documentation that tells us how these systems that are serving us are actually working. When it comes to security, it's all about regulations from the government, regular assessments, and of course, education. Okay, the best security system cannot help you if your password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, or if your password is password, and password is basically the most chosen password on the world. Okay, so what it needs here is, in first place, education, and then regular assessments that should be conducted by the governments through regulations. For instance, like the regulations that are published by the European Union. And when we're talking about ethical concerns, I just mentioned you the example of the large language model from Google, who suggested to wipe out Afro-American people. It's very we suggest to use diverse data and to conduct bias testing over and over again in order to make sure that you don't have these racist comments from your large language model while people are using it. Okay, this is just one easy example. When we're talking about the future of AI, it's clear that more jobs, yes, you're hearing right, more jobs will be provided by AI and will be lost. Okay, around 600 million jobs will be wiped out, but also about 700 or 800 million jobs will be created through AI, through the technology of AI within the next 20 years. It will be created into every particular part of our life, as it already is with Alexa, with Gmail, with Netflix, as you already know now. But it's going to change the world more than anything, as already Mr. Kai-Fu Lee mentioned it. And if you want to know who this is and why his opinion has some weight, you should Google this guy. This guy had a significant impact on the development of Oracle systems and has his fingers in a lot of technology that is widespreadly used in our world. Okay, it will have a hopefully significantly positive impact on healthcare and also on education. You can already train large language models to be your personal tutor and train them to make sure that you learn things in an easier way, in a more practical way, and this will help you to get more intelligent. So AI won't replace you, but AI in this case will help you get more intelligent and will help you to reach your goals faster. And here I already found a very nice summary, a very nice image where you basically see the value in $1 billion, okay, in where AI will be used. Okay, image recognition, you can think why image recognition, 8 billion, because this is basically China, or this is basically Interpol, or this is basically other organizations who try to fight crime. Okay, algorithmic trading, again, we see the pattern here. It's again the finance industry, efficient and scalable patient data. We are talking about healthcare, and then we are starting directly here with the construction or with the maintenance industry. Okay, so AI means different things to people. I really want to stress this out. Here you see some examples. For a video game designer, it's AI means writing the code that affects how bots play. For a screenwriter, AI means a character that acts like the human with some trope of computer features mixed in. For a data scientist, AI is a way of exploring and classifying data in order to meet specific goals, in order to get some more clarity of data in their company. And now the question that you should ask yourself, what means AI for you? Okay, how will AI change your private life? How will AI change your life in business? How will it help you enhance your business or even start your own business? So the conclusion is, stay informed, get educated, get involved in AI somehow, and protect your privacy and personal data, and make sure you will advocate the ethical and responsible use of artificial intelligence. What is very important for me is that I show you what we are using, okay? That I show you what we're using here. We are using for learning. I would really suggest you to use deep learning, to go on the site deeplearning.ai, to go on the site Coursera, or to use the Google machine learning courses in order to educate yourself. And I would really suggest you to visit the sites Edureka, McKinsey, and World Economic Forum to stay ahead when it comes to the news of artificial intelligence. So the left side is basically for everyone who wants to learn more about artificial intelligence. And the right side is basically for everyone who wants to get some regular news about artificial intelligence over and over again from a good source. Let's say it like this, from a good source. Let me start the Dia show again. Goes a little bit wild. And now a small announcement based on our previous certifications and based on our previous study in the last months. We also started working on the next webinar, and this webinar will be called Introducing AI to Your Business, where you will get an insight in how to utilize artificial intelligence in order to automate, in order to optimize, in order to improve your processes in your own company or in the company that you're working at. Okay, and I really would love to see you there, but before this event will happen in 1 month, it's time for the question and answer section after over 60 minutes, yeah, after let's say 70 or 80 minutes. So please write your questions in the chat, and I'm happy to answer them all. You can also talk if you want to, it's no problem. You're welcome, Mary. Matthias, if you want to, or David, if you want to mention something, yeah, it's up to you.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for all you have been in this presentation. It was like my first presentation at all, but as mentioned before, I'm deep into that space, so day by day I'm improving, and also the presentation will get better. Yeah, that's from my side. So thank you, guys.
We just got a question from Mary. Do you think the warnings about biased data is overblown? I think it's not. Of course, AI will be mistreated or misused just to generate hype from every side, from professionals and from other people, from startups who just add AI to their company name in order to be fancy, in order to get funding. But when it comes to biased data, it's really important, because you don't want a large language model, or you don't want a system that hurts human beings. And one of the first laws of artificial intelligence is that we really need to make sure that AI serves the needs and the requirements of the human species, and is not wiping us all out. So that's why this is a really important topic. Another question from Abina: when you know, how long will it take to learn when you have a business? It always depends on the application, what you're doing. You can start a business with a business. Yeah? You can use prompt engineering in order to start an AI startup straight away within a week Okay, you can build a recipe maker based on personal data of users, a nutrition advisor and stuff like this. But it can also take 1 or 2 years or 3 years or several years. It all depends on the scope of offerings from your company. But in general, the possible applications of AI are rather limited by our imagination than by the actual possibilities that are out there. Oh, that's a very good question, Mary. You've posted a very good question. How does so every company is making the shift to AI. Good point. How does a lay person assess the reality of what companies are marketing is real or hype? For me, the easiest answer to this is get educated, okay? As soon as you identify what kind of AI based on capability, based on functionality that they are using, okay, you can identify if it's hype or not, okay? So basically, I give you one really simple example. Go to Google, okay, and write blog AI, write in blog AI, and you see hundreds of so-called AI startups that are offering you the service of automatically generate a SEO optimized article, okay, automatically generate a text for a headline, automatically check the grammar of your blog article, automatically generate keywords for the text I wrote. These 100 startups are all using the same thing. They're all using a large language model and prompt engineering in order to make sure that they get the right output for the input they have given the model. Okay, so if you identify the technology and you see that it's over and over and over again the same structure behind it, you can see that it's more hype than real application. Okay, so type in blog article AI, type in presentation AI, or type in image AI, and all these generative AI tools, these are mostly hype, okay? Or generative AI, then you can see when you type in generative AI, for instance, generating pictures or generating text, then you know it's all about the hype mainly. Please provide, question by YE, please provide names of AI application used for construction in the UAE. That's a good question. I know that IBM is offering a tool that's called IBM Maximo, and there are some more, but I need to come back to you, Vael, and I will send you.
Yes. David, Alex, I got an answer. It's like
Yes.
Procore. Procore is cloud-based construction management software, let's say, that helps project managers to identify risk and inefficiencies in construction projects. Then we got SmartVid.io. It's a platform that uses AI to analyze photos and videos of construction sites to identify safety hazards, monitor progress, and improve quality control. So these are two of them. And there is also BuildOts. BuildOts is an AI-powered construction management platform that uses computer vision and machine learning to automate and optimize project management processes, such as tracking progress and quality control.
Yeah, thank you. I know Procore, it's like a similar company to the company I used for called PlanRadar, who's not really applying AI. But while David will send you a list of AI application used in construction in the UAE later on, within the next 24 hours, okay? So we want to make sure that you get a proper answer to your question, and based on this, we will do some research for you. There's so much buzz right now, and it's hard to figure out what's true. Yes, that's true. Lucas Schwab asked, is there a course that makes sense to learn prompt engineering, or would you buy would you recommend to learn it by doing? I would recommend a mix, okay? There are a lot of tutorials online for prompt engineering, and I would go into the OpenAI playground, and I would attend the course, okay? Learning by doing is always the best way of doing things, for me, at least. But you also need the theoretical knowledge in order to start applying it. Right, Mary, underneath they're using the similar technologies, but they just put a different cover on it in order to have a different user design, user experience. Yeah, sure, well, you're welcome. If anyone has some more questions, please let us know. You can just type it here in the chat. I see there are only 11 people left, but we just give you 1 or 2 more minutes to post your questions here in the chat window, and then we will end the meeting for today. Don't worry, we will have these kind of webinars every quarter, so quarterly means every 3 months, and we will have a mix of different events. Event that is more technical, that will explain AI or specific subfields in a more technical way. We will have events that will talk about the business side, as the next event will do so, introducing AI to your business. So there will be a lot more opportunities to attend our community of people who want to learn more about artificial intelligence. You're welcome, Mary, and hope to see you soon again in one of our next events, or on LinkedIn. You can all add us on LinkedIn. You have our names, basically. You've seen the invitation, and we hope to get in touch with you soon again. Thank you for attending. David, do you want to say something?
Oh yeah, thank you very much, and hope we see you soon again.
Thank you.